All right, not a bad theme song, if I say so myself. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show, everybody. We finally made it our last show for the season for 2015. Got a couple of things to show you here, quick announcements. But the first thing I want to do, let me put on my reading glasses, is instead of giving thanks and all that at the end of the show, because a lot of times we run, down to the last minute, and we get cut off sometimes. A lot of people have been telling me that. So I'm going to do something backwards and do this at the very beginning. The first thing I want to do is thank Eminem for 25 years on the air, believe it or not. We finally made it. Mark is not here tonight. He went on vacation. So Yoda is going to stand in for him tonight. Of course, I'm going to be talking Star Wars later on. And my partner who did the show with me 10, 15 years, Santos, who's taken ill. Wish you the best, my friend. He helped me a lot in all these years. And he was wishing me the best to make it to 25 years, which we did, okay? And, of course, the saviors of this show, the engineers tonight, Saving Private Ryan himself. Ryan is over here helping me out with the show. The other engineers also during the summer, Freddie, Roberto, Richard, and Melody. They really helped me, really. A lot of people have been telling me this. Hey, the past couple of years, the show's kind of been lame, You only have like maybe one or two things. And now, the old engineers, they really super up the show. Give me some good graphics in the background, green screen, and gives me a nice table to put all these things here. Snoopy, of course, competing with James Bond this weekend. And, of course, I want to thank Jeanette Santiago to make sure I got on the air for 25 years. She's always been bailing me out and making sure the show is on, it's on Saturdays at 5 p.m. Okay, and last but not least, let me save the best for last. You guys out there, the fans who's been tuning in, you guys been going to my blog page, you've been visiting my website, and now some of you are going into my SoundCloud. And the funny thing is, for some reason, a lot of people have been adding me to on Pinterest out of all things. But I appreciate it. I appreciate it all. And don't forget to join me on Facebook. But let's go to the blog, because I got a nice little sweet announcement. That's my blog. The website is right there. The link right on the top page right there. Thank you, Ryan. And the Blog Talk Radio, I haven't done a new show since Halloween, and the reason for that is I've been working on a special TV show, which I mentioned in a little while. But there will be not one, but two, at least three shows. The Best of James Bond, The Best of Godzilla, and I'm going to go over the TV shows premiere, like American Horror Story and stuff like that. And the Black Talk Radio will have three shows this coming week. But the big announcement is, since we're taking a break, one more little announcement, and there's SoundCloud. What happened to the music? The music is going to premiere in December. I took a break again because of a show I'm doing, okay? But the music will take off. I had to make sure I completed 25 years in Eminem. I had to do that TV show. But in the meantime, while I'm taking the break, I'll be back in springtime of 2016, probably April or May, just in time for Superman versus Batman. We decided at the last minute, Videoland Express is going to be on YouTube. And that's a little clip of, Ryan, if you could play that, just play it. That is me, folks. Earlier this afternoon.
I don't know what happened.
I didn't have a headset mic. It's just like a quick little palette to let you know. Videoland Express will continue on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. That's from the bedroom. That's me just talking, free form, freestyle. I will have extra lights. We'll have a headset mic to be a little clearer. I don't know why it's a little bit staggering like that, but I'll be fixing that. It's just a 6-minute little quick view for you, let you guys know I'll be there for the winter on our YouTube channel. Can we show that YouTube channel? That's our YouTube channel, Videoland Express. All the old shows with Mark and everything. You go to the videos, everything's there. Don't forget my last interview with Mark Hamill in right-hand side. That one, that was a film in 1994 for you Star Wars fans, okay? But anyway, that's our YouTube channel and all the previous shows. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to be on location. I'm going, like Mark already went ahead of time on vacation. I'm going to be going on vacation for the winter time. That's why I'll be back in springtime. But the shows will continue. Videoland will continue. on location in Puerto Rico. And I will have my Star Wars special. Let's go back to the top. So, I was talking about Roger Moore, about his book, a little trivia, right there. And let's go back to the blog page. I will get into that in a minute. And that's our blog page. And again, everything is going to continue as such. Even though we're going to be on hiatus over here on MNN, the Videoland Express is going to continue on all these other different formats. Okay, and I didn't get a chance to put up another picture. It's me with Yoda wearing a Phantom Menace T-shirt back 10 years ago. I'm going to put that on the blog of this coming week. And I had a sign called Sci-Fi Sci-Fact. We've always been big on science fiction. And what is old is new and new is old. And that's how we're going to start with the show. Because I got some things left over from last week we didn't mention. So let's get right to the show here. So now you know. So I don't know where to start. It's like, let me just start off what happened, why you didn't do the Block Talk Radio. Very simple. See this gentleman over here? Yeah, that's right. He acts, he produces, he directs, he paints, he's a musician. James Franco. I actually was on a background extra on The Deuce, an HBO pilot that's going to premiere either January or February, and it takes place in 1971 about the porn industry. And everybody was makeup with long sideburns and afros and everything. And I actually got to be in a very special scene with him, the bar scene, which will be in the pilot. And James Franco actually handed us drinks, me and my partner there. So that's why we didn't do the Block Talk Radio. We had like anywhere, we did a lot of days. And some days were 12 hours, 14 hours, and the last day was like 18 hours. Let me tell you, the one thing I can say about James Franco. When we were doing some of the scenes with him, every time there was a break, he was reading a book. And one of the books was the famous director, French director, Trudeau. Am I saying that right? Trudeau, thank you. And James Franco, he's on his way to become an Academy Award-winning director. That's what he's aiming for. And let me tell you, when I was hanging out with him, not with them, should say, because we're not background actors are not allowed to talk to actors. But you see him in action. He was reading one book after another, and then, okay, James Franco, we waited for you, and then he go into his scene where he plays his evil twin brother and his own brother. That was kind of fascinating to see. But he's a very intelligent person. And he was on NBC Today Show, and he says he teaches UCLA courses out in LA and stuff like that. UCLA College, I believe, whatever, university. Well, anyway, so that's why I haven't done the blog. So people are asking me, you're going to do that special about, working as a background actor? Yes, that's also going to be on the Block Talk Radio show, folks, okay? Along with the James Bond special, the Godzilla special, and a bunch of other specials. Now, talk about James Bond Weekend and Peanut and Yoda. So we're going to talk about those three things here. So let me get into James Bond. How do you explain James Bond without giving any spoilers? Well, I would tell you this. I give it 4 out of 5. I really liked it a lot. But after the movie, we went to see it at Regal Theaters down by Battery Park City. And it's funny because the same situation happened. Never mind the critics, okay? Rotten Tomatoes gave it 61%. Never mind people on the internet, haters will hate and stuff like that. The best way to get reviews is in the bathroom, believe it or not. People, after the movie, everybody's watching the bathroom, everybody's asking each other, well, what do you think? This movie sucked. It was all right. Skyfall was better. I give it a 7 out of 10. There was some negative feedback. And some people, this is the best James Bond. I can't wait till Daniel Craig comes back and everything like that. The same thing happened when I went to see Star Trek Insurrection. And again, all the trekkers went into the men's bathroom and said, man, bring back the Klingons. What's with this new age shit? That's how you get feedback, okay? I liked it. The thing is, let me give the pros. For your James Bond fans, I'm going to bring this up here. Okay, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. Sean Connery. Everybody says Goldfinger. Yes. Some people say Diamonds Forever. Yes. This is my personal favorite, okay? And there's a lot of hints to this. And if anybody been listening to my blog, I said, listen, James Bond has to come back with the gadgets. The hot chicks, you gotta have that. Where's the cars? Okay, and I want my volcano. It's a running joke. It's an inside joke. I want my volcano. Well, guess what? We got a crater this time. I came close. Okay, there's a lot of tidbits in this movie. That's one of the pros. There's a lot of scenes. I wrote this down here. For example, without giving away too much in the movie. For example, he's with the girl in the hotel, and it used to be the father's room, without giving any detail. And he said, she says, my dad has hidden secrets in his room, and he's trying to look for it. And said, I don't see anything. He sees a rat, and he starts talking to the rat. I said, are you after me, little guy? And that's part of the speech that he gave in Diamonds Are Forever. Remember Diamonds Are Forever? He gets stuck in the tube, and there's a rat. That he starts talking to him and said, oh, one of us kind of stinks. Oh, sorry, I guess it's me. Sorry about that, little buddy. So there's a nod right there to Diamonds Are Forever. There's he has a watch. I don't have a watch on me, but he has a watch, and he asks Q, which is in the trailer, in the commercial, does this watch do anything? It says, no, it just tells the time. Of course, there's a little gizmo. He does do a little gadget trick with it, and that's a reference to Live and Let Die. You know, Sam Mendes is a big Live and Let Die fan. Okay, if you look at the video, the little promo clip, 6-minute clip, I'll show you. I have a Viewmaster. Remember the Viewmasters? Okay, remember Jurassic World? At the very beginning, the kid is looking through this little contraption, and he's clicking it. That's a Viewmaster. I show that. I actually got the original Viewmaster I bought back in 1970 something, and I showed that. The way I'm showing the props is what that little video shows. Anyway, I showed that on that clip, and there's a lot of references like that. Okay, now somebody was asking me, what about that ending? Well, let's just say there is a reference to this character in a way. For those who have seen it last night and know exactly what I'm talking about, and you guys are saying, don't spoil it for anybody else, Frank. Well, there is a reference. Let's just say a Pootie Cat makes a cameo. I'm just saying, okay? All I know is I made a bet with a friend and I won that bet. Anyway, one of my favorite movies. Now, compared to the new Bond, Craig, well, the problem with the problem with Spectre is, even though there's a lot of references to other movies, he does have gadgets, he does have the girls, okay? And then he does not one but two Aston Martin cars, believe it or not. But anyway, and something what the critics said, oh, the last half hour kind of stinks, it gets really boring. All I can say is, because it's a reference to Star Wars, if you saw the trailer, that is the first half of the movie. They didn't show the last half of the movie in the trailer. So to me, the last half was a complete surprise. A lot of twists. And I really got a kick out of that. And same thing like Star Wars released a Japanese trailer. Okay. And the trailer runs in conjunction and sequence as the movie happens. You see the girl with B-88 robot. You see the black dude who was a stormtrooper. They join forces. They get picked up by Harrison Ford and the rookie. They get caught. That's in sequence to the movie, and that's in the trailer. They don't show the last half, where supposedly Luke Skywalker shows up. Okay, so the Bond trailer is exactly the same thing. The last half hour of Bond movie, there was a bunch of things that happened and a lot of plot twists. And the people who said the last half hour was boring, I don't think they saw the movie. Here's my con about the movie. My only complaint is Sam Mendes really fell in love with his camera. And this is part with Daniel Craig, James Bond. He's looking for somebody. He's looking. And he's looking. Cut, right? No. He's looking, and he's looking down the hallway looking for somebody. I said, dude, you got to cut that scene. The middle of the movie really bogs down the movie as far as the editing goes, the pacing. This movie should not have been 2.5 hours. If they really want to make a tighter James Bond movie, they could have easily cut off a half hour out of the movie, 30 minutes, and they could have cut out like right in the middle of the movie to get to the ending. Now, the last half hour is a lot of action, not in the trailer. I'm not going to spoil it for you. A lot of things happen and a lot of action in there. So, knowing now that if you haven't seen the movie and the middle gets boring, go get your soda, go get your popcorn, but make sure you see the last half hour because there's a lot of plot twists in there. And there is a big setup. People say, is it true that Craig is going to retire? At the end, he says, well, I'm going to take a break. I don't know if I'm coming back, blah, blah, blah. They kind of leave you hanging, but what happens to the evil villain is a big setup for the next movie. Let's say they drop a big hint about Blofeld. Actually, the next movie should be called Blofeld. Let's leave it as that, okay? There's no reason to bring out Spectre. If you're a James Bond fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You cannot have, you cannot have Godzilla without Mothra or King Ghidorah Rodan, okay? Star Wars, you need a dark villain like Darth Vader. Well, somebody's taking his place. Somebody's dark villain. Well, you can have Spectre without Blofeld. Simple as that. So that's how the big hint drops at the end of the James Bond to continue. Now people said Sam Mendes said he doesn't want to do it. Daniel Craig doesn't want to do it. Translation: that's movie talk for more money. We need a raise for the next movie. This movie is going to make $1 billion. So when they said they don't want to do the next movie, that's a holdout. To instead of getting 15% of the profits, they want 20% of the profits. That's the way that works. Anyway, so that's my James Bond review. You will like it. For some people, I just spoiled. Skyfall is better. I love my old James Bond. I love the gadgets, the women, the cars, and all that stuff. And this movie taps a little bit into it. It's very subtle, but it's all there, folks. Okay, so people said James Bond. Okay, Sean Connery is better than Roger Moore. That means apples and oranges as far as concerned. Just up the action and the gorgeous chicks and the gizmos. And yes, he does have a drink shaken and stirred. No Heinekens. Good. They got rid of that. Now, a little thing from the last episode. We mentioned, let me move Snoopy over here. Yeah, McDonald's are selling these little toys for $1.50. The kids in Puerto Rico are going to love me for that. Anyway, now, we always have a thing. What is old is new and new is old. Now, what are we going backwards to Halloween? Not exactly. Some movies are going to have legs, like Peanuts. It's opening up to, 35 million. Spectre is opening up to 80 million. But there's really no competition. For example, Thanksgiving, we're going to have Hunger Games. Who cares? Creed, looks interesting. Good Dinosaur. Dinosaurs for children. Can't go wrong. Victor Frankenstein. Now, last show, we mentioned Hotel Transylvania. That had legs and still making money, still in the top 5. As a matter of fact, the box office right now is Spectre, Peanuts, The Martian, 3rd place, Bridge of Spies, and Goosebumps. And I think coming at number 6 is still Hotel Transylvania, a movie that has legs. Okay, now because somebody asked me, the kid was dressed up in a funny hairdo, and that's because that hairdo belonged to the Dracula. This was a version of Francis Ford Coppola, Bram Stoker's Dracula. He was going to do Frankenstein, believe it or not. And at the last minute, he really had a hard time making this movie. He said, maybe I should not make Frankenstein. He gave his notes, his paperwork to Kenneth Branagh. He directed Thor, and he went ahead to do the Frankenstein with Robert De Niro. Okay, now they're going to come out with a brand new version of Victor Frankenstein. This time with James McAvoy of X-Men and Harry Potter himself, Daniel Radcliffe. Do we need another Frankenstein? I don't know. But anyway, this is a reference. See, this is Gary Oldman as Dracula with the Helder, and that was in Hotel California. Of course, Mel Brooks did Young Frankenstein, the comedy. And main reason I'm mentioning that because now a lot of people are trying to talk Mel Brooks to do Spaceballs #2. Remember Spaceballs, the goof on Star Wars? That's right. And they want him to do Spaceballs #2. That's why I'm mentioning that. Now, let's go. Let's see. Any other notes I want to mention? Well, basically, everybody's looking forward to Star Wars. So let's switch over to that for our background. And the only thing I can say about that, about every other movie coming out, the only movie that I think that anybody be really looking forward to is In the Heart of the Sea with Ron Howard and Moby Dick. This is based on an actual tale about whale hunters at that time period, back in the 1800s. And somebody got an idea, write a book about Moby Dick. And this is how Moby Dick got created, how it got written, directed by Ron Howard. I think that's going to be the only competition with Star Wars. Now, of course, you have Kurt Russell and The Hateful Eight. The trailers played just before James Bond last night. And people are like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's going to go up against Star Wars, but it's actually just going to open in L.A. and New York. Then it's going to open wide in January 8th. I think there's going to be like the only two big pictures up against Star Wars. Now, talking about Star Wars, let's get right into it. Now, I mentioned about the interview I did with Mark Hamill. Now, and it's all over the website. What are the pictures that he really has done that you could be mentioned? Well, he did a movie with Lee Marvin. Let me put that up first. Lee Marvin. Who? This Lee Marvin. Great actor, one of my favorites. He did a movie called Dirty Dozen, a classic. Lee Marvin did a movie called The Big Red One. That symbolizes his stripe. He had like a red stripe here for number one. He was a sergeant. And Mark Hamill is in this one. He really doesn't have that many lines. This got re-edited. It was a 2-hour movie, and it stuck another 30 minutes back in. This is a special edition. I really recommend it. So you want to see a very young Mark Hamill. This is the movie he did right after Star Wars #1. This is before he did Empire Strikes Back. I definitely recommend this. A 2-disc edition. It has a lot of behind the scenes. So Lee Marvin and Mark Hamill. You would never see a combination like that ever again. So I definitely recommend that. Now, something that slipped by me, believe it or not. And I'm thinking, that guy looks familiar. Who is that stormtrooper? And I'm thinking, still thinking, and sure enough, he was the dude in Attack the Block. Does anybody remember this? It came out, I think 2011 or something like that. And the main dude in this is the stormtrooper, believe it or not. Now, somebody asked me, is this a kind of a coincidence how he gets Star Wars? Well, I don't know. I haven't heard any rumors, but here's a stretch. Okay, so I'm second guessing. It said from the producers of Shaun of the Dead, right? And we know Edgar Wright, who's good friends with Simon Pegg. Okay, of course we all know Simon Pegg did Paul about the Alien the movie with Edgar Wright. Of course, Simon Pegg did Star Trek as the new Scotty, directed by J.J. Abrams. And now J.J. Abrams is doing Star Wars. And Simon Pegg does do a cameo. He did a quick little 3-minute behind-the-scenes featurette. I don't know if you've seen that. It's a little promo. And he's dressed as one of the creatures. He had, at that particular time, he had his head off. But you still see the body of the creature, and he says, hey, I'm on the set of Star Wars. Okay, so yeah, apparently him and JJ are good friends. I'm thinking that somehow they remembered him from Attack the Block and said, hey, how about that dude from Attack the Block, and have him as the lead for Star Wars. So that's how it came about. When this first came out, Inner City versus Outer Space, this movie only cost like $10 million. Did really good at the box office, especially overseas. What you call it? A lot of good features. The creatures were actually guys in suits, believe it or not. The funny thing about this movie was heavy English accents. I couldn't understand half the dialogue. I had to see it with subtitles, believe it or not. You might have to do the same thing. I think this might be on Netflix or Redbox. I definitely recommend this movie, Attack the Block. You get to see where that dude, the stormtrooper, came from, right from this movie. But you're definitely going to need some subtitles on this because I had a hard time. And also they talk and street talk and slang, you know. And they say words like, I can't think of it right now. But you know, New Yorkers, hey, what's up? We're going to hit the beat downtown, whatever. And the English ghetto have their own way of talking. We say, hey, I'm going to head down to Mike's crib or whatever, They got their own lingo. That's why I had to hit the subtitles. So, but regardless, I still recommend this. This is a good 4 out of 5, especially for the budget, how they managed to create the creatures. So, okay, I got a couple minutes left. Okay, I haven't seen Snoopy. I'm going to have a brand new blog show. Grew up with Snoopy. My favorite was Snoopy and Woodstock, the Red Baron. I was always into World War I. The Red Baron, that airplane was always, I thought it was always so cool. 3 wings, Like I said, this is from McDonald's. I'm going to have a review. I'll probably see Peanuts tomorrow night. I'll have a review on the Blog Talk radio show. Any other tidbits I have? Well, I'm going to have a TV show Supergirl came out really cool. American Horror Story, dull. Gotham, the Riddler is my favorite character in that show. Doctor Who, Clara is saying goodbye for the Christmas special. Big Bang Theory is getting a little bit monotonous with the couples. Okay, Blacklist. I did a show. I did a show on the Blacklist. I was background actor last year with Red meets Berlin. Okay, I still say he's the uncle and that's the niece. Okay, new shows: Walking Dead, fantastic, up the body count. Ash versus Evil Dead. We're gonna see that tonight, as a matter of fact. And it's a brand new show, and they actually had the trailer just before Star Wars. Man in the High Castle. It's a what if. What happens if the Germans and Japanese won World War II? Excellent produced show. They had the pilot on. I definitely recommend that. And the big last one, Star Trek is coming back to TV. But CBS says, like HBO Now, they want you to subscribe to All Access. I think that's a complete ripoff. Taking Star Trek fans for granted. Oh yeah, they're going to pay $10 a month to see All Access. CBS All Access, whatever they call their channel. But the good news is Star Trek is coming back to TV. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank everybody in MNN. I want to thank all you fans out there. Don't forget, Videoland Express is going to continue on YouTube, Blog Talk Radio, and my blog. And that's pretty much it. And I'll see you back here next spring in 2016. Everybody, Frankie, B, and thank you so much for watching the show and for supporting everything that I'm doing. Thank you so much, and I see you next year.